In this example, I'll perform an addition of two numbers in base 8. Before we proceed, it's probably important for us to think about a couple of key ideas before we start adding. In base 8, remember that once we get to a quantity of 8, we must move to the next place value. So we will never be writing the digit 8 or a digit larger than 8. If we add and get a result that is 8 or larger, we will need to carry. The other thing that you may want to consider is as you're working in different bases, to turn to page 211 and 212, especially for base 8, and you will find an addition table and a multiplication table to help you with your facts as you're performing the actual algorithm. This may remind you of when you were in second and third grade and learning how to add, subtract, multiply, and divide, when the addition and multiplication facts were not quite as instilled in you as they are now. It may help for you to consult the tables to find some of the addition and multiplication facts in base 8. So let's proceed. If this were actually two numbers in base 10 to add together, we would start by adding the 7 and the 3, and we know that because that's 10, we would have to record a 0 and carry the 1. However, this isn't base 10, we're actually in base 8, so our carrying must reflect this fact. The first thing that we'll want to do is to add 7 plus 3. Now 7 plus 3 is larger than 8. Therefore, there is some carrying that will need to be done. 7 plus 3 to us is 10. If we rewrite that as the number of 8s plus any leftovers, we would write that as one group of 8 plus 2 leftovers. The number 7 plus 3 is 10. 10 can be thought of as 8 plus 2, so we have our 1 8 and our 2 leftovers. So 7 plus 3 is equal to the number 1, 2 in base 8. In fact, if you take a look at the chart on page 211, you can see that in the leftmost column, if we add the number 7 to the number 3, which is in the top row, 7 plus 3 gives us 1, 2. So we will record the 2 and we will carry the 1, just like we do in base 10. And now we proceed to the next column. The first thing that we'll do is we'll add 6 plus 4, keeping in mind we have to come back to gather that 1 that we carried. 6 plus 4, again in our head we can think 10, however we know we can't write 10 in base 8. So what we have to do is ask ourselves how many complete groups of 8 is that with how many left over? Well, 6 plus 4 is 10, that's one complete group of 8 plus 2 leftovers. So we've got 1, 2 in base 8 again. But we add in the 1 that we had carried from the previous column, and we have 1, 3 in base 8. So we'll record the 3, and we will carry the 1. Moving to the next column, we have 0 plus 4, which is easy to do because we're not near 8. So we can just record 4, because 0 plus 4 is 4 in base 8. However, we regroup the 1 from the previous column, so we'll add in that 1, and we get 5 in base 8. We'll record the 5. Nothing to carry. Moving to the final column, we have 2 plus 2, which gives us 4. Again, not near the special digit of 8, so we can just record a 4 in that column. Therefore, we have added the number 2067 in base 8 to the number 2443 in base 8, and our sum is 4532 base 8.